Hello, welcome to another special episode of Plat Chat.
Truly special.
Where we're losing our minds. It's been a long day of recording, honestly.
What hour are we on? We're on hour 4.5.
Oh my God, 4.5 hours in, and we've only just got to the Los Angeles Gladiators, which is our next team that we're going to talk about.
Wow.
A lot of very popular players, a star-studded roster, a lot of big question marks as well, though.
So many.
So let's take a look at the roster, and I just want to kind of work down from supports, because the supports are just super consistent. They're the same people as before, Shaz and Big Goose. I really rate these guys. I think they're very good.
Do you think Paintbrush will play over Big Goose?
No, I don't think there's any chance of that. I think Big Goose is very talented.
Paintbrush impressed me, but I think Paintbrush is a good Lucio, but I don't know if he has the skills in like Brigida and that kind of stuff. Big Goose does have good aim. He is a smart player. I think he'll be able to adapt to these other characters better.
I also just think that Big Goose has got a good Lucio, so I think Paintbrush is more there just to kind of fill when is required.
Which is a shame, because I rate Paintbrush. I think he's actually a pretty decent player.
He popped off in trials when he was trialing for a bunch of different teams, I think. So interesting anyway, and maybe he will get playtime. Let's continue into the tank line, though, because they have got OG and Space. So they got rid of Raw and Void, and Raw and Void were a very mediocre kind of tank line. It was clear that they were kind of a bit of what was holding the Gladiators back, at least especially Raw.
This is where it starts. Right here, right? Because everyone here at this table, we stand on Space. Yeah. Well, we like Space.
You got that out eventually.
Yeah, I got it out eventually. It's been a long day, 4.5 hours. But we like Space. We think he's been consistently the best off-tank in America.
Yeah, probably the best Western off-tank.
Probably the best Western.
I mean, dude, every word I say, I'm second-guessing myself.
I mean, I guess there's is it Nevix, and who else? Am I forgetting somebody else that would be up there? Western.
Yeah. Western. No, I can speak for, I don't think there's a single off-tank that stands up to Space, because I don't think there is.
So, okay, he's a great addition to this team. But then you have OG, and I look at this duo, and I'm like, I have no freaking idea how this duo plays out.
I think Space, I can tell you what, the Space and OG have wanted to play together for a very long time. They have a lot of respect for each other. So I know that they're going to be working super hard. They both have the same thing. They just want to win.
I also think they have complementing personalities in terms of OG, I think, needs a confidence man next to him. And Space is a confidence kind of guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think, but playing with Space, I feel like when Space gets in game, he's a bit more competitive and a bit more fierce, in lack of a better word.
No, I don't think Space doesn't ever really fear. I think he
fierce,
has confidence.
like fearless,
Oh, fearless. Oh yeah, I agree. He's pretty fearless. He's confident in his ability, and he will do whatever it takes to win. And I think that's what OG needs. But Space isn't the kind of guy that's going to lose his shit on stage. And stuff that. He's not gonna freak out. My only problem that exists with this tank line is we can all agree that they're a great tank line. Is it how much did it cost them to get this tank line, and how much did it cost them in the future?
Well, I don't even know if OG is consistently good enough to actually perform on a top team.
Exactly.
I think that was what he's supposed to be on Dallas Fuel. Perhaps didn't get the right coaching or whatever, but I still think that he just had some wacky moments, and I don't know if he has fixed those.
I think it's a leap, an incredible improvement from the Dallas Fuel to the Gladiators in terms of their coaching staff. I believe in this coaching staff. Face has done a lot of good work with a bunch of different teams. Curry Shot has been very impressive in the small time that he's worked in Overwatch. D-Pay has continued to produce results with teams that they might not even be able to. These are strong personalities as well. I think this is the year for OG. I think he's going to get molded into a very good player.
I agree. I think he finally has a team around him that he can be confident in. I think that's always been his biggest issue. You look at this support line, Shaz, Big Goose, solid. He's got his off-tank behind him, Space, really good. I think the only question mark that he could really have would be the DPS line.
And the DPS is a big question mark.
But I think he has the things around him.
One more question. Do you think that Space is potentially a Diva 1 trick?
No. Did you see him at World Cup? I think he played a very good Sigma.
Yeah, the Sigma was very good, but when I think about Space, I don't know if I think about his Zarya. I don't know if his Roadhog is good as well.
All right,
his Roadhog's solid. His Zarya is very good.
Is his Zarya very good?
It's okay. It's not bad. I would say he's at the right level he should be as a off-tank.
What I always think about is, would he be playing it in GOATs? You know what I mean? Like, if Zarya was like an incredibly key part of the team, would you have him playing?
He could, but like my thing about Space is that he learns really well, and I think he understands the game at a very high level. And so I think, I was actually worried about him because I've had the same reservations of like, his Diva is by far his strongest suit. Will he struggle going to Sigma? Yeah. But he impressed me at World Cup, and I think that's all that I need.
Yeah, I think Space is the best player on this team.
I agree.
I really like Big Goose. I think Big Goose is very talented.
No, I think Space is like a top tier player, and I think he's like when I think about the LA Gladiators, I think about Space. When I think about the LA Gladiators next year, I think about Space, and he sort of sets the tone for everything for me.
Yeah, sure. I think he's very talented.
I think. Wait, let me step in this. Space's play is not the thing that I have the most respect about him. I think he's just through and through a good teammate. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He brings up other players, and I think he is going to be the rock for this team.
I think he is the perfect person to put alongside OG.
Yeah,
I think OG, if he doesn't succeed this year, it's all on him because he's been put with
100%.
Well, actually, I suppose we'll get to the DPS question in a second. Yeah. But if he individually doesn't perform, then I think he's got a good coaching staff. He's got a good backline to support him. He's got a good off tank alongside him. So,
all right, let's get on with it.
The DPS, Birdring, Mirror, Jaru. That is the fucking strangest DPS line I've ever seen in my life. I was hoping when they first announced Mirror and Birdring, I was hoping that they would announce someone very stable as their third DPS, so that if one of those punts, because that's what they are, risky punts, doesn't work out, you can always fall back to someone reliable. And then they had Jaru. So now you've got 3 punts. And nothing reliable about this team whatsoever in terms of DPS.
I think Mirror could be sneaky good.
I think people have been rating him highly. I think he would be I would put my money most on Mirror to be the rock of the...
I feel best about Mirror. What world is this, though, that you feel best about Mirror on a top 10 team? Yeah. That's a weird world to be living in.
Because he has where is he from? He's
Vietnamese but lived in Latvia or something like that, I want to say.
So he played for Boston Uprising.
A Vietnamese player that lived in Latvia. I don't know whether you can quite see the corner of the screen there. You just can.
I think Mirror could just pop off.
I have high hopes for Mirror on the fact that I've heard good things. Honestly, I can't say I've watched much of his stuff, but I've heard a lot of good things from other people. Yeah. My question is definitely Birdring.
Oh, dear
Birdring literally pretty much retired at the end of last season when he said that he won't play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Bro, I won't even hesitate. He's washed.
I think
he is washed.
Okay, my problem with this kind of thing is when you get to that mindset where you don't even want to play in the playoffs, as someone who recently retired, you are not in the mindset to ever be like, oh, I need to grind this game, I need to play it. He obviously doesn't enjoy the game anymore. He's not going to be that guy that's going to grind and get back to his former glory. I think he is going to stay washed. I think he's going to just get to the start of the season. He's going to struggle and then he's going to give up.
There are 2 paths we could go down here. One is he comes into a new system with the LA Gladiators. He loves the team, really fits in, confidence boost,
and puts in the time.
We'll see where that ends. The second path, in my opinion, is we go 1/3 or 2/3 of the season, and he's like, "What the hell am I doing with my life?" And he just like quits on the spot and like has a panic attack or whatever, and they have to move on.
I think honestly, I think both are possible because as much as I would like, and I think most of my money would go on Birdring is washed, he's a bum, get him out of the league. He's actually actively ruining your team. He's not just not contributing, he's getting in position where he's scrimming to get ready to play the playoffs.
He's taking time away from someone who could be practicing.
Actually ruining your team. So as much as most of my money would be in that category, I think Birdring is the kind of player that when he cares, he is still very good. Yeah. You see him when he was playing, even in the playoff games where he did play, when he was playing the Doomfist, he was playing really well. Like, he was a smart player. You don't expect him to be the Doomfist player at all, and he was actually doing it. He was hitting shots as well. But why would he care?
That's my thing is like...
Why?
I don't think anyone doubts Birdring's ability to be a top-tier DPS. Does he want to? Does he want to put his time in?
The one thing I'm being optimistic about is the fact that he's playing next to players like Space and OG, and I mean,
does he respect them?
Well,
Birdring's an OG in the literal sense.
Yeah,
but perhaps he's just tired of London Spitfire being this hyperbolic chamber of just personalities that shout and scream and, are like vocal.
That's actually my pet theory, is that Birdring disliked playing alongside the members from GC Busan, the Gesture and Prophet.
Yeah.
I don't have any evidence to back this up, but I think that Birdring, because he used to play alongside Rascal, was used to getting most of the resources, most of the space, having the team built around him. And when he came in to play alongside Prophet, now Prophet gets all of those because he's just astronomically better than Birdring is and plays more as well. This team, Birdring is the star. I mean, if he actually performs, Birdring is the star. The person that you give your resources to, the person that you build the DPS roles around.
I think we can all agree.
I think I would almost put it into Mirror and then just let Birdring not put pressure on him.
No, I would put it all. I would try and put it in Birdring. If we get Birdring back to his former glory, Mirror plays a support role, and that team actually comes together, I would put them as a top 4.
But that's just wishful thinking, though. I hate it. I really do hate the wishful thinking. Yeah.
But I think that is the only avenue where, like, all of that has to be correct.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that is their DPS working. Now, let's take the much more reasonable outcome. Birdring is either bad or decides he doesn't want to play. This DPS line could just totally cripple the Gladiators. You are now fielding Mirror and Jaru.
I see where the Jaru addition comes from.
I think so. Please tell me.
I think he's very much like a plug and play Doomfist kind of player. Genji. I want to believe he plays Pharah.
I only know him because he played like Genji and had like some 6k blade, and I was like, man, this guy normally isn't very good, and he got a big highlight.
So I think it's some theoretical bullshit where they're like, oh, well, we need to round out our DPS squad, so we're going to pick up this projectile guy who plays Genji Doomfist. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not that easy. I don't think Jaru is necessarily the best pickup for Gladiators in this right now. I think that maybe Jaru could fit in with some other team, but I don't think Gladiators makes the most sense for him and his hero pool, and that's what is the most concerning.
My thing is, like, why Jaru? If they said to me, like, we looked and we trialed a lot of players and Jaru ended up being thing, I would accept that.
I think, though, that is maybe what they did, because I know that Gladiators were running big open trials. Oh, no, sorry, maybe not open, because open implies that anybody can apply and get in. But they were running extensive open or closed
they were
kind
giving
of trials.
A lot of options to
and so there were screenshots leaked as well of like Neptuno and OG playing with Birdring and Flower and people like that. Yeah. So presumably they thought that Jaru was better than some of the other people like Flower that were taking part and whoever the fuck else.
And that's the thing is, like, we're not avid watchers of contenders that much. We watch it here and there, and I think Jaru could easily have been someone that snuck under all of our radars, and I wouldn't put it past him. Maybe Jaru could be a star, or he could be a really good player.
I would be more inclined to like see him play for like Boston Uprising.
Oh yeah. I think putting him on a squad like this, he is way in over his head, and it's going to be hard for him to step up.
Wouldn't you rather try and steal back one of Blase or Hydration from the Outlaws? Like, just try and steal back Hydration. I'd rather have that than have Jaru on my team. Yeah. Hydration's reliable. You know what you can get out of him. He's there as a second thing.
When did they trade Hydration, actually? Was that?
Oh, ages ago. They made him a free agent, like, before BlizzCon. Yeah. What was it?
10-18?
Yeah, 18th
Why
of
did they
October.
do that?
I don't know. Presumably all of the contracts were expiring. I think every contract was expiring, and they only re-signed the people that they wanted to re-sign.
So small things before we get to win-loss or whatever. LH Cloudy, I think it's a great pickup in terms of like developing talent, because I think he still has a lot of promise. I think Paris Eternal was a bad work for him in terms of like his development, but I still like Cloudy. And Bishu, I think, is a very obvious like teammate camaraderie kind of player.
Yes, yeah.
I also think Bishu loves being that guy.
Gonna play. Yeah, I think he's just going to be happy to ride the bench, travel with everybody, and just have a good time, because I don't think he'll ever play for space.
Yeah, and I mean, and those backups are backups for positions where we already feel comfortable. You know what I mean? It doesn't help the DPS issue.
I like the LH Cloudy one, because OGE still to this day is such a big question mark. He did self-destruct on OGE, on Dallas Fuel. Yeah. So, you know, it's hard to know if that was a result of Dallas Fuel or just the person that he is. Like, is that his headspace?
All right, over-under, last season, placed 5th. 17-11 record.
Ooh, see, they did well last season. Like, they did sneaky well.
Yeah.
This team is so dependent on whether my thing is, if their DPS lineup doesn't show up, I would be happy to put them in at 9th.
honestly, if their DPS lineup doesn't show up, they might end up way lower than 9th.
Yeah.
I could see this team being in the bottom half of the table, only just hanging on to playoffs if their DPS line doesn't show up.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to play a lot of Dynasty, Spark, Charge. Yeah. I mean, I'm happy putting them at 9th. It becomes a question like, do you trust Spark more or Gladiators more? I could see them being better than Spark, but
do you think
I'm
they're
not
better than the Dynasty?
Yeah.
You do?
I think so, yeah.
I think
the Dynasty has profit.
See, but my thing is, I think they might be.
Okay.
I think they might be better than Spark and Charge. I would
definitely don't think they're going to be better than Charge. And I
can
don't
put them
think
at
they're going to be
8th.
better than Spark.
I'd be happy putting them at 8th.
Are we happy to move Spark and then put the Gladiators there?
Oh,
I don't think you trust DPS lineup enough.
I don't trust their DPS enough.
But then let's assume. Well, let's go into the world that like.
But I mean, fucking Adora is on the Spark, so
yeah.
But even Adora, like I would rather have
no.
I'm down to put him at 9th.
I wouldn't.
You are happy to put him at 9th? I want to put him at 8th. I want to put him over Spark.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm down with that.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's put him over Spark.
8th. Move Spark down.
Because also what I was rifling through in my head there is kind of, I actually trust the Gladiators coaching staff a lot. Yeah. I trust their coaching staff a lot. And so if the coaching staff of the Gladiators selected these DPS players and thinks they can make gems out of them,
sure,
I give them much more benefit than if this was like...
I think the Gladiators going down with all these changes.
Yes, because they did too well last season. I think they're still going down. Because what did they go, Jonathan? What was the Gladiators lineup last season? 17 and 11.
Yeah, that was a really good season. 17
and 11 is a very good season. So yeah, I think they go slightly down.
Spark went down as well, right?
Yeah, Spark going down as well.
Wow.
Okay.
All right, starting to flesh out.
Boy.
Oh, we only got 3 teams left?
Yeah.
Oh,
We've got
3.
3 teams left. And one of them's a San Francisco Shock.
And one of them's 19th, so I don't know which one.
Yeah. Good God. Who knows what that 19th one is? Oh.